I'm recording right now. All right. Ooh, that would have been pissed. All right. So let us begin. All right. The primal versus the ceremonial. I'm going to have to announce that again at the end of class. God damn it. Man. Anyways, like Demetrius was saying, this is going to kind of go over what Demetrius was just saying about the primal versus ceremonial. You'll understand where this is really coming from. All right. Primal magic will always, without contradiction, be more powerful than ceremonial. Now, that may sound controversial to some people. Prove me wrong. And let me tell you why I say that. You can prepare. You can be meticulous in your preparation. You could carefully plan. You can have everything planned with the planetary body movements. You can have all the luminary bodies lined up. It's wonderful. But that kind of thinking and process sometimes is only conducive to the linear mindset. What do I mean by linear mind? A linear mind just thinks in one pattern, one way, one shape, one form. They see everything as past, present, and future. When you think in a more holistic or circular mindset, you see that past, present, and future are always intertwining because they're being created at every moment of the day. Every second of the day, you are creating past, present, and future. There is no linear time that everything is moving in one direction. Things are moving how you create it within your mind. Okay? So, the linear mind is just that. But has no entrance whatsoever when it comes to the subconscious sphere of the brain. The subconscious sphere of the brain is where true magical power gains its genesis or beginning, its origin, okay? It all begins in that subconscious mind. This is something we always go over and over. Subconscious mind is that as you go deeper into it, it becomes that abyss, okay? It becomes that chaotic waters of noon. It becomes that which you must go deep into to really get a foothold or understanding, first and foremost, over yourself. Who and what are you? Who and what are you? Now notice I said who and what are you? Who are you? Who are you really? Not who you created to exist or survive in this society. Not who you doll up every day in front of the mirror. Not who you look in the mirror or get your beard trimmed and all this stuff to look like a certain way to survive, exist, and be of something in this world. But when we unmask all that, rip that apart, who are you really? And what are you? Notice I said, what are you? Do not tell me the superficial or the basic regurgitation that most people will say. They'll tell you they're a human being. They'll tell you they're a spiritual being. They'll tell you their origin, their ethnic group, their race, their culture, whatever. I didn't ask you all that. Take all that away. Strip all that away. What really are you? That is the purpose of working deep within your subconscious mind. And to do that, sometimes it's not always going to be so pretty with all the neat trimmings, with all the ceremonial flair. Sometimes it's going to be raw, nitty, gritty, dirty, and grimy work. For example, the voodoo sorcerer, also known as the Bokar, the primal Satanist, the Luciferian, the dark witch, all right? All of their maledictions carry more power than the empty pomp and ceremony of the right-hand path ceremonial magician. Oh, you think because you practice Wicca that you're not on the right-hand path? No, honey, you are more on the right-hand path than a goddamn Christian, because in reality, you are sometimes even more spooky and religious than a Christian. You just took away the religious definitions and replaced it with nature, gods and goddesses. Same religious mentality, just without the definitions of the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, etc., etc., etc. All right? The ceremonial practitioner defeats the natural flow of their own power. Think about that for a second. The ceremonial practitioner sometimes defeats the natural flow of their very own power and the power of the forces they are calling upon by the constraints and pedantic measures and at times ridiculous extremes of their ritual preparations. The workings of the gateways of chaos are powerful and raw. They are primal black arts which forge instant connections with the demonic beings of their infernal legion and which tap naturally into the latent powers which lies within us. Demons or daemons, your true self, okay? And then when we say demons, we are not just speaking of what Hollywood has created to be defined as a demon, but we're discussing the chaotic part of you that has been created through your trauma, your wounds, your fears, and you created these monsters within your mind. And they project outward from your mind, from your subconscious outward, and sometimes will appear in physical form, but it's really projecting from your subconscious mind outward. Are not interested, these demons are not interested in the size of a magical circle. Look at how big this circle is. We could fit 50 people in here. Who gives a fuck? Or if you have taken your cleansing bath. They have no interest if you had fasted the day before ritual working. Nor do they care if you summon them on Tuesday or Sunday. That's one of the major problems that the right-hand path and the left-hand path differ on. Sometimes our work on the left-hand path is straight chaotic. It's not about lining up with, okay, it's a waxing moon or waning moon on this day. If you really know chaos the way you say you do, why the fuck are you still waiting to do a ritual until that day? That means somewhere in your mind, you still have this right-hand path mentality that you must work with the luminary bodies on such and such day, on such and such time. And see, that all that is killing the natural flow of your energy, of your powers. That demonic energy gives two shits about when, where, how, and why. Okay? How does then, the question comes forth, then what are these demonic energies looking for? What is attracting them? What does attract them or that to you? Your desires, your primal and carnal energy, and by the intense passion which lies within you as a sorcerer. There is a difference between a magician and a sorcerer, by the way. This is not Harry Potter. Though I like the movies, but this is not Harry Potter. Okay? Sorcery many times is straight out, ferocious, strong-willed work that has no rules, order, or system to how you're supposed to do this magical work. Magic oftentimes has so much ceremony and pageantry to it that it gets away from that fact. A sorcerer, a lot of times, yes, emphasize work on themselves, mastering themselves, but at the same time, do not get it twisted. You cross the line and disrespect us, try to hurt us in any way, a sorcerer does not play that game. They will curse the living shit out of you and anybody else associated with you if you cross the line. because we're not playing by the rules of do not harm anyone. See, that's a religious mentality still that still is part of magic. What we live by is, sure, do not harm people unless they fuck with you, period. You fuck with me the wrong way, I go all out to harm you and have no remorse about it. It's a difference. But do we intentionally go out to just harm people, hurt people? Hell to the no. But don't cross that line. Do not get it twisted. Sorcery is chaos personified within the power of yourself, projected outward. It is about manipulating the elements here that you exist in to create a new existence, but it emanates from your subconscious outward. It is taking that power that exists here, and if you've done the shadow work, your projections are more clear and precise. Ritual is a powerful tool, so don't get it wrong. We're speaking of ceremonial rituals at times. Not all ceremonial rituals are bad, so don't misconstrue what I'm saying. What I'm saying, as a sorcerer, sometimes it can get in the way of your natural flow and power. All right? But sometimes group ceremonies will be necessary. All right? So ritual is a powerful tool. The very setting up of the infernal altar or the necromantic altar or whatever left-hand path altar you want to set up, it does create a setting which helps to stimulate your subconscious mind. So it's not wrong or bad, so please do not misconstrue what I'm saying. It does help stimulate that mind to work the dark arts. But a lot of times you got to understand those things are simply aesthetics. For aesthetics are raw visual conduits and catalysts for the power of magic within ourselves and the power of the demons, your true higher self, or the chaotic demons you created within yourself. But in right-hand path magical orders, and even in some of these left-hand paths, such as aesthetics, the subconscious triggers are taken to nonsensical proportions, overtaking the natural motive forces and magical energies themselves. Sometimes we get a little too carried away with rituals. Sometimes we get away from just feeling the raw chaotic power. I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna give you something you could do so you understand what I'm talking about. All right? I want you, of your own free will and accord, if you choose to, do a ritual, a ceremonial ritual, one day. Then the next day, I want you to go out into nature somewhere, the forest, the woods, ocean, somewhere, at night. It has to be at night. And I want you to just do an impromptu ritual. However that shit comes out of you, however it flows, do it. And then tell me what's the difference that you feel. And I guarantee you there will be a difference, or still none of your money back. Anyways, that's another story. Now, yeah. Ceremonial magic is observed and practiced far more often by right-hand path occultists. Oh, you didn't know? Oh, let me get this clear. Let me clarify this for a lot of people, because some people are still confused. Not all the occult is left-hand path. Most occult and most of the occult information you're receiving from YouTubers and from other people who've written books and things like that, most of that information you're receiving is right-hand path occultists. They're not left-hand path occultists. There's not an extravagant amount. No, that's wrong word. Exuberant amount. Yes, I'm using college words today. But anyways, there's not an exuberant amount of left-hand path authors out there. really a lot of the left-hand path books tend to be, you could probably count with 100 or less of them out there. So it's up to us to, if we are really about this left-hand path and feel it and promote it, it's up to us to start writing books too, if that's what we are, you know, favoring to do. Because it really is not. Most of this occult information is right-hand path. Like, I could show you, if you go into your library 5 years ago to what you have today, most of that shit you had in there is right-hand path still. So understand that. It is a big difference. But anyway, ceremonial magic is observed and practiced far more often by right-hand path occultists than those of the left-hand path. Such observed practices are no more than showmanship, pomp, and ceremony, pandering to the linear mind which controls such people. To the true left-hand path occultist needs no such prompts or calculations in their workings. Now, we'll participate in some of those, but we don't need it. For some years, right? Myself included, because these individuals we created these notes and information with worked on this left-hand path, but I went into a lot into Tantrism. Okay, the left-hand path Tantra. I just don't always talk about it because, anyways, and some of the other individuals focus more on the raw goetic sorcery, okay? But working with the Goetia, things of that nature. And sometimes we would merge the two. These ritual workings are so direct and raw in their foundations as to be performed with no preparation nor endless corresponding observations. They utilize imitative, sympathetic magic, the forces of sex and death, the biological magical properties of our own bodies, and the power of the spoken word, and they are some of the most potent and productive workings that you could possibly partake in. A lot of these things are not really discussed. Left-hand path Tantra, if you actually go and Google left-hand path Tantra right now, you will hardly find any goddamn books written about it. There's very little books written about left-hand path Tantra. What the hell are they trying to hide? Like, really? Go Google it. Don't believe me. Do the search, and you will see there's not a lot of information in detail about left-hand path Tantra. I'm a martyr. Some of the reasons why they don't talk about it is because in this society, in a lot of societies, some of the work in left-hand path Tantra is considered insidious and nefarious. So they don't really promote that here because they want everybody to be on the right-hand path. Why? Why would this society want people mostly to be on the right-hand path? The reason why is because when you're on the right-hand path, you're more easily controlled. Why do I say that? Because a lot of the right-hand path is always externalizing their work. They're all about externalizing or externalization. They want to be external, meaning they want to worship a god, a goddess. They want to worship something outside of themselves because the very mindset of worshiping is still embedded within their subconscious mind. See, the world over, the predominant number of people want to worship something. And when you come across talking about master yourself, worship yourself, you're the true God, you're going to be looked upon as a devil, a demon, crazy, wrong. But unfortunately, the vast majority of human beings across this planet, regardless of race, nationality, culture, or whatever, want to worship something. And this is why when they start trying to tiptoe into the left-hand path, they quickly tiptoe away from the left-hand path. This is why some people were here in our classes and have disappeared because somewhere inside of them, they still wanted to worship something. These are the people who are famous for saying, Kali talked to me last night. She wants me to worship her. She wants me to do an offering. No, nigga, she does not. First of all, why would she need an offering from you? Second, why do you think you're so special that she would talk to you? There's close to probably 8 billion people on this planet, but she chose you and just you? What the hell does that say about your ego? 8 million people, and you're the only select one that she just had to reach out to you and just say, you know, Cynthia, you're so wonderful. And I, Kalima, your great dark mother, have to talk to you. You are so glorified in the spiritual realm. Your mission is to save your people. Get the fuck out of here. Every person, for any person who's, if I could get paid $100 for every person who came back and has told me that the spirits told them they're here to do a mission and save people, I'd be a millionaire by now. Unbelievable. Anyways, most texts published on Goetic magic are of the kind in which the spirits are summoned up under the command of a god, with no connection to these spirits, which is an insulting and vile way of practicing magic. When working with these spirits, your work should be primal and direct. No magical circles, nor triangles, no demands or no constraints. Just pure, undiluted communion, conjuration with these powerful and mighty jinn. Yeah. This individual worked Goetic conjuration and merged it with Voodoo. Voodoo, Goetic sorcery, and they merged it as one. Imagine the shit that popped off then. Yes, if you wanted to, you could do the same. But like I always say, if you're going to do it, make sure you're right. Make sure you worked on yourself, because you're going to open gateways and doorways that you just might not be ready for. But could you? Yes, easily, because the frequency and vibration and energy of certain Loa, certain Gede, and the Goetic demons are very similar. All right? Now, another thing you could try to do, if you want to understand primal demonic energy, you could incorporate Goetic with some form of Tantra. Now, I'm going to tell you, listen, please. You work with the Goetia and you do some tantric sex magic. Please work on yourself before you do it. 1. 2, know what the fuck you're doing before you do it. Because you think you made contact with demons before. No. If you do some work with the Goetia and Tantra, you're going to see either channeled through the female or through the male some serious demonic shape-shifting right in front of your face. I've seen it. There's people who can testify because they've been participating in the act because they saw it come out of themselves. Please be ready, Because when that demon comes forth, they hungry, they got a strong appetite, and they're going to want what they want. Is that not correct? The individuals who know who I'm talking to. Okay? And then you wonder why this came out the blue, because the demon came out that ass at that same time where things were discovered. So just understand, if you're going to work this, make sure you don't work on yourself, because you're going to be shaking and scratching your head later like, what the fuck just hit me and what has taken over me? That's the doorways you open within your subconscious mind to the layers that you have not opened yet, to the energy and flow that's buried inside of you that you suppressed is going to just jump off and wreak havoc if you ain't ready for it. All right? If I was asked the question, well, Ravana, what do you prefer? Do you prefer the primal or the ceremonial path? I will quickly, without a shadow of a doubt, say the primal. I don't do well with a lot of ceremonial work. That's why I don't go to a lot of rituals. I love my peoples who do it and everything else. I always will love them, but that's just not my flow all the time. I'm more of a primal, chaotic sorcerer. I unleash it. I go out into nature. I go out into the woods. I go out into, I go to the ocean in the dark, pure darkness of the ocean where there's hardly any light shining onto the ocean, and just unleash the raw, primal, dark powers that exist within me. And I just utilize and tap into the elements to bring that forth with my desire intent to make shit manifest in greater results. If I have a blockage within myself, I'll go into the woods. I'll bring my machete. Yes, my machete. And I'll go in there and I'll start chopping away some things, unleashing the raw primal power within myself to overcome the blockages that exist within me. I will just unleash it where no one's around, because they don't need to see me unleash that. For one, because if they did, they think I'm crazy. For two, they think this nigga got too much power and energy. They scaring the shit out of me. So I go out there alone and do that. Try it for yourselves. You will see the difference between doing something ceremonial. People have asked me, Ravana, do I always need to do a circle when I do a ritual? No, for the most part, I'll tell you no, but sometimes you may need to. So most of the time, no, you do not need, I do not do goddamn circles when I open a ritual or do a ritual, okay? I do not feel the need to open and close a circle. I do not banish shit when I do a ritual, because I want to work with all the raw energy that's coming forth at that time. But yeah, what about the evil spirits? You think they're evil because your ass is religious and scary still. I see the benefit in whatever dark energy or any energy that's presenting itself at that moment. And I'm not going to banish it away, because I might be able to utilize that energy at that moment. But if I'm still a scary religious ass person, I'm going to banish, and then what could have really helped me, I banished and never going to have access, or possibly never have access to that again. So you do not need to do that every time. As a matter of fact, you do not need to go into or in front of your altar any time either. Because that's also another constraint that we put on ourselves, that we think, oh shit, I have to do a ritual. I got to go in front of the altar. Really? You are the altar, nigga. You are the candles, your eyes. You are air, your breath. You are earth, your body. You are water, your blood, sexual fluids, etc., etc. So what the fuck do you need outside of yourself? Now, if you create an altar and you created a vortex of energy, sure, it's going to assist and only heighten your work. But do you always need it? No, you should be able to be the walking altar and utilize your own elements within yourself. You should be able to do this anywhere you go. If something happens in the moment, are you going to wait to get back home to do the ritual when it should be the emphasis to do the ritual at the moment? Let's say you get in a predicament and physically you're in a predicament. Are you going to wait till you go back home and then summon some demons to protect you or to hurt your enemies or whatever the case? Because by then it may be too late, son. You should be able to do that at the drop of a dime. Not only that, you should be able to go into a trance at a drop of a dime if you're working your shit consistently. You should be able to do these things. If you feel you need all this external equipment, then you are negating your own power and making yourself weaker. Because now you've created a new groove in your mind that I need something to do this ritual. I need the sage to do this ritual. Nigga, if you know like I know, you be wearing natural oils instead of colognes. It's not that I don't like colognes. It's just that I know that certain oils have certain frequencies and vibrations and attributes that I could utilize in the work and walk of the day to do rituals on the spot. That's why you will never see or meet me without, if you smell, you're always going to smell an oil. People who met me know that shit. And depends on the day and what my intent is, there's going to be a different oil that has different vibrations, frequencies, and attributes that's going to be applied and utilized for what I'm trying to accomplish that day. You should know what oils, fragrance oils, you can utilize. I'm going to give you what I use. No, I'm not going to give it to you. I'm going to give you the information, okay? I use Nabeal, N-A-B-E-E-L, N-A-B-E-E-L, I think it's Nabeal.net or .com. Pure Arab oils like no other. And I use their mini bakhurs for rituals. Man, that's powerful. The people who've been to Miami have smelled when we lit it up in the ritual. Anita and myself either lit up a mini bakhur, which is pure Arab little chalks or chunks or blocks of herbs, flowers, plants that give off an aroma that are so profound, you'll know it's on. Well, they have oils, unisex, male and feminine or female, okay? I wear those because I know what goes into them, the ingredients used, and I know what each of those oils utilize or assist in. There you go. You don't need sage or incense only in front of your altar. You are that shit. So put that shit on. Figure it out. Which one do you resonate with? Do a smell test. Okay, I love this oil. Let me work with that. I know one of my favorites, some who know this, Egyptian musk is one of my favorites. Egyptian musk been one of my, matter of fact, that's the first oil I fell in love with back in 1989. So if you know that, you use it. They have oils, frank and myrrh, fragrance oils. You can use that. Y'all should know by now what frankincense and myrrh are used for, especially when you combine the two in rituals. That's how you become the walking altar. That's how you become the primal sorcerer. Everything is primal, chaotic, on the spot kind of work. It's not always, I need an archetype. You are the damn archetype, which is what I will be discussing at the end of the month in October, at the end of this month, at the Left Hand Path convention we're having in Miami. You are the archetype. You are Kali. You are Lilith. You are Oya, Oshun. Stop groveling and worshiping things. You are them. You just forgot because you've been twisted and manipulated so much that you've lost sight or lost way. You lost your way to who and what you really are. So you've become a worshiper instead of being the ones that are worshipped. Let me say that again, in case people miss it out in YouTube land. You've lost your way, been twisted and manipulated to worship things outside of yourself, when in fact you should be the one who is worshipped. Let that sink in your head for a moment. All right, now that moment has passed, always take the primal path over the ceremonial path. If you truly seek to gain mastery over yourself, merge with the demonic spirit of chaos, that demonic spirit of yourself, your true higher self, your true self. Let me say it again, your demonic true higher self, your true self, that spirit of chaos, then it is this form of the left-hand path occult which they tend to respond more. Your true self tends to respond more in this path than any other path. From my experience, you got to find your own experience, because it's the path that you're actually taking a journey to discover self, to master self and understand self. Not paint a pretty picture of self, not put on a nice tuxedo, a suit and tie, or bow tie, whatever. Not put on a jalabia. No, none of that. It is that part of yourself that is unmasking and unclothing the shit you create to exist here. It is you in its most raw primal state. That's when your true self responds. Your demonic self responds because you are doing the work to dig deep into you and the parts of you that you've suppressed, ignored, or never worked on. Like Carl Jung said, the reason why people don't work on it is because that path, that working, is disagreeable, thus not popular to others. Now, I must also say, true, they can be conjured in ceremonial fashion. Yes, they can. But by doing so, you will or may lose the perspective, respect, and allegiance which can be obtained. Anybody who really works with the demonic energy, demonic frequency knows mother effers don't like to be controlled. They especially don't like to be controlled by a bunch of fools who really don't understand what they're doing or really worship them. They want to work with motherfuckers who are unique, strong, independent, and got some shit about themselves and transformative and just on some next level shit. That's when they come. That's when the work is heightened. They want to know that you ain't just some boring okey-doke ass person. Ooh, I'm just curious about magic. I just want to know what it's all about. Well, take your curious ass back home and watch Harry Potter. There you go. Anyways. All right. Also true, they can be commanded to manifest, but understand this. You can try to control some of this frequency and energy. You can. But if you don't know what you're doing, just get ready, because that energy can turn back on you. Instead of trying to control, you should be mastering. That doesn't mean you've got to pimp them out, make them a slave. You just master that flow, master that work. You'll get greater insight. All right, let me continue. The demons, the daemons, the true self, are ancient powers that existed long before the gestation of the world upon which we live. For y'all who've read The Black Ship and done some of the demonic workings in there, you will understand that the demons existed since the beginning of the explosion of the black sun. From that black sun, this universe and all the other multiverses were seeded with life. You are a descendant of that life, or that seeding, I should say, that became life. The demonic being is not concerned with the time you conjure its power, nor the day or the month. You could summon one right the F now if you want to. You don't have to wait. Oh, let me wait. 11 o'clock exactly is when the moon is going to be waning. Let me wait. Yeah. No. That's not primal sorcery. Primal sorcery is, look, we're going to do some conjuration right the F now. Let's get it popping. To wait for the day or the month, these are concepts created by humankind and mean nothing in the realms of the demons, the gates of hell, subconscious, the abyss, underworld, chaotic waters of noon. Y'all ever wonder why I have the name Ravana, Eastern Indian, and noon? What do you think? I just said, okay, let me just put N-U-N together? No. Because it comes from noon and noonet, the chaotic waters, an ancient Kemet. If you don't know what it is, go check it out. All right, anyways. It is true that certain colors and other elements have worked their way into magical practices of the traditional sorcerer, especially dark sorcery, left-hand path sorcery, things of that nature, such as wearing of black robes, the use of red and black candles, and the use of symbols, such as an inverted pentagram, etc. But understand that these are aesthetic correspondences, not correspondences held true by the demonic energy itself. The sorcerer is a creature of the night. For some of y'all peoples on the West Coast who hit me up sometimes, you'd be like, damn, Ravana, you still up? Yep. I be up at night. Well after midnight many times, and still get up early. Because that's my time. I'm a creature of the night, and that's when I feel most connected, most empowered, most in tune. A sorcerer is a creature of the night, a creature of desire and passion. There's that word again, passion. For my Sith, you are now starting to understand what that passion is all about. A creature of desire and passion, a conjurer harnessing the emotive forces of wrath, carnality, and working with the currents of death. Aesthetically, red and black correspond to these areas within the human subconscious. Black has long been associated with the night, the dark side of life and death, just as red has been associated with the emotive forces of anger, wrath, and also passion and sexuality. We see these colors used in many areas of life which adhere to the sexual, dark, and the deviant. For instance, those who are into BDSM, you will understand. Not saying that I'm into it, I just know about it. Anyways, will often be decorated with black and red hues. Black and red are also popular colors in the underground subculture of the goth movement, and colors often associated with the vampire of myth and cinema. The red and black utilized by many on the left-hand path and sorcerers on the left-hand path are aesthetic colors which resonate with their personality, subconscious connection to sex and death, and connection in general with the more underground subversive elements of society. Okay? This is much different than suggesting that the force of physical planets' energies will only be harnessed if the candle and the rituals of a certain color. Get the fuck out of here. I remember someday somebody asked me, can I only use red? Nope. You can use any color you want that's at your disposal. Now, if it's for a passion or something for that nature, yeah, red will help. It'll help emphasize more, but do you have to? No. Because it's all ultimately is emanating from you, your passion. Does the energy of Jupiter, I know I'm hurting a lot of Wiccans' feelings and so-called witches on Instagram and everywhere else, but I have a message for you. I don't give a fuck. Does the energy of Jupiter truly care that the candle conjuring its energy is blue? Do you really think Jupiter, the planet itself, is sitting there and saying, yo, Cynthia down there has got a blue candle. Yeah, Cynthia, let's work this shit. Jupiter probably don't give two shits about Cynthia or any other motherfucker working with that frequency or current. But in your egotistical human mind, you think it does. Anyways. Or do they care that the seal or the sigil is formed from or forged from tin or something else? Hell to the no. However, remember this, magic does work a lot on your belief, what you accept or believe to be true. Anyways, so people will tell me quite often, well, you know, this is the result I got in my ritual, but that's not what I believe. Rephrase that. That's what you don't consciously believe to be true. Subconsciously, which is the programmed mind, you may accept it to be true and not even realize it. Case in point. Case in point. All right. Well, hold on. Let me go back. Somebody just texted me that their call failed. Anyway. Give me a second. Let me tell them. Where am I at? Okay. However, magic works greatly on belief and the power instilled into that belief over the centuries, and so a planetary magic rite is incorporating such correspondences will be potent throughout time. Such planets have developed an almost egregoric power forged from the constant belief and faith put into them. So keep that in mind. What you feed can take a life of its own almost. Yeah, go figure. A sorcerer, a sorceress are more concerned with the stimulation of the senses, your typical senses, okay? They're more concerned with the dark, the powers of the dark, not the evil dark like some of you religious fools still think. Oh my God, you guys worship the dark. Nigga, you were born in the dark. Shut up. Anyways, and carnal by nature, okay? It would not feel comfortable performing the black mass in a bright yellow robe in a ritual room painted orange. There's a reason why we use a lot of dark colors a lot of times, because they help you tap into your subconscious mind. Now, the sorcerer. Got to understand, yes, people, it's good to have visualization skills, and we talk about this all the time. But don't get so caught up on it and angry if you haven't mastered visualization, because you still will get results. Okay? I'm going to show you how simple it is. So don't get caught up in people who tell you, oh, I'm a master of visualization. Listen, I'm going to show you how simple visualization is. Close your eyes. Everybody right now, close your eyes. Do not keep your eyes open. Close them. I'm watching you. Visualize the first person you kissed. Some of y'all smiling. Some of y'all frowning. That's how easy visualization can be. That's simple and easy. Anyways, let's keep it moving. Phases of the moon and seasons may be practical and conducive knowledge to the pagan magical practitioner, the witch, or the Wiccan. But again, these are of no particular use to a sorcerer. For example, a demon of initiation such as Agaliarept will not release its power more readily because it's spring and the night of a waxing moon, conducive correspondences to initiations and beginnings in pagan lore. Neither shall the destructive demon Alastor vanquish your enemy any sooner because you conjure its power on the night of a dark moon in winter. These are physical and elemental observations that only have a bearing on our own world. The demonic forces work beyond any such natural laws. So why the hell are you trying to control them or bring them or conjure them based upon natural laws, and they're beyond that shit, people? Quickly, jot this down. The 4 keys to successful sorcery of a black magic nature. The word, write that down. The word, which is the power of names, words, and incantations, etc. The second key, the will, the ability to direct your mind and concentrate your will on a single objective. Single objective, not 20 objectives, goddammit. Anyways, desire. The third key is desire. The deep-rooted, insatiable desire to attain the objective of the magical working being performed. And number 4, demonic. The conjuring, invoking, or merging, or mastering the self within the forces that are considered the demonic beings. There are the 4 keys. Simple and easy. Don't worry, we're almost done. Then we'll take questions. The demons seriously have no damn concern on matters such as taking a cleansing bath. Okay? Let me say that again. They don't give a damn if you take a bath. But I'm not telling you to be stank as hell either. Some people have come to rituals like they just came out the gym. Woo, woo. Anyways, the demons seriously have no concern on matters such as taking cleansing bath for ritual or remaining without food for a certain number of hours before communing with them. Simple. The demons react to the power of the word, not the word of Jesus Christ, goddammit. Please, someone don't say that. Programming at its best. Demons react to the power of word, the true desire and the need of the sorcerer or sorceress, the expression of emotive power and the conjuring of their energy and name. Now here's another one that's gonna fuck you up. Oops, excuse me, a little burp there. This is why the use of sigils and seals are not necessarily required in operations of demonic magic or black magic workings. Yeah, that may floor a couple people in YouTube land. What? Oh my God, I thought I needed a sigil. Oh my God, a sigil. Listen, nigga, no you don't. Cut that shit out. And if you believe that, it means you heard it from someone and accept that to be true. Start thinking for yourself, damn it. Anyways, conjuring and black magic workings, the demon's power is not summoned by the sigil of its nature, but by the force of its name. If you understand the power of the word, if you understand the power of the name, you will understand that through a name, you can fucking outright control, manipulate, and destroy someone. Let me tell you one of the reasons why in Kemet they had multiple names. In Kemet, you had a spiritual name that was given to you at birth that was whispered into your ear by the high priest and you. Only the high priest and you would ever remember that name. Because if anybody ever found out your true name, your sacred name, they could outright make you into a zombie and control you. This is why very few of you know my name. You know my spiritual name, Ravana. Not my sacred name, my spiritual name that I'm known in left-hand path circles as. But my real name, few of y'all do know it and will ever know it. Because there's power in knowing the name. When you know the name of the demon through the power used, the emphasis, the energy, the frequency, when you utter that very name, you can shake wide open the gates of hell and conjure that demon to do your bidding. The power of the name. There's a reason why each and every one of you will get or should have a spiritual name and then a sacred name. But anyway, I'll do a video on that another day. Just a whole class on that one day. All right. Where am I at? Yes, the sigil can provide a good conduit to harness the demon's current, but it is the name of the demon itself which is truly the most important to know. Think about, for example, some movies, some shows, some things, they always warn you about how you speak the demon's name aloud. Be careful, don't utter it out loud. It's something bad's gonna see. There's something behind it. There's truth behind it, but it's used to incite fear in you. But there is truth behind it. Because if you do say the name, you can summon it, but you better be ready for it. Because that shit emanates from the darkest part of your recesses of your subconscious mind, and you ain't dealt with that, you might run from yourself. Remember the movie The Exorcist? It wasn't until they found the demon's true name that they were able to exorcise it. There's some truth to that, but that's another story. Also, I'm going to say this again. Primal sorcery, for those who know, you do not have to travel the astral realms to enter or gain entrance into some specific demonic universe or multiverse or whatever you want to call it. You don't. All you have to do is master yourself and work these 4 simple steps, and you can open all the gates necessary. All right. Now that I talked a lot of shit for the last hour, let me start taking questions. All right, where we at? I'm gonna say Demetrius for last because he's got some good insight he gonna bring. Necro Cannon. What's good, my brother?
Doing good, brother. Just wanted to say excellent class on Primal Chaos Sorcery, right? Basically, as well with the 4 keys. I just wanted to go over with again, which is the word, the will, desire, and demonic, which is, of course, the higher aspirations of yourself. So, okay. Yeah, just wanted to make sure that I got those down so I can continue to utilize those. No questions. No questions, but yeah, a lot of what you said correlates already with what we've been talking about. So I'll leave it at that and allow some other people to maybe ask some questions or something else. But great class, bro.
All right, brother. Appreciate that.
Peace.
All right, I am God in the gym.
Hey, slow.
I'm sorry, brother. I
slow,
am a
big
God.
bro.
Yeah.
Slow, big bro. Appreciate the class. I do have a question.
Sure.
So when you was talking about you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So when you was talking about the word, the will, desire, and demonic, right? Could those be demons that you create, or do they have to be particular demons?
No. You can actually, it's not just for demons that we know of, like goetic demons, things of that nature. There's demons that you summon that exist within your realm, your subconscious mind. You understand? Your multiverse or universe. You can summon those because the ultimate work is to summon those of yourself, your true self. You understand? So it's not just for the goetic demons or demons that we're familiar with or know about. You can use those 4 keys to tap into your true demonic self, your higher self.
Okay. All right. And this is not a question, but I just I appreciate you giving see, I never really understood that it was so simple and you just broke it down between ritualistic and the primal, right? So I never, like the moon, right? The moon doesn't resonate with me. So when I hear people say you can't do manifestation rituals on a full moon, it just didn't never sit right with me. But when I be trying to do shit, I'm thinking of that dumbass shit in the back of my head. It's like fucking with me, right? Because I didn't heard it so much, like don't do this, or like the candle turn black. I'll be like, where the fuck did you, like, if you could explain this shit to me, I'll
All
listen.
right,
But if I
let me
can't
say
get, like,
this.
who
Let
the
me say
fuck
this.
said that?
Some of these things that people say are superstitions that have been passed down for generations upon generations. Okay? Some of that shit is just things that are stupid in itself. That's why I call them stupid stitions. And they're used to control your power. A lot of times people say those things because they heard someone else say it, or they belong into a coven and their coven believes that to be true. But see, the problem with that is whenever you fall under that system of thought, you're limiting your own power because you're saying that I can only do things at a certain day, certain time, certain month, certain whatever. When you, as a powerful sorcerer, demonic, true self, chaotic being, have no linear time. Do you understand? That's considered linear time. And people are doing things on linear time when your power is not subjected to linear time. Your power is based upon circular or holistic time. Meaning, whenever you want to do something, if your passion, your will, and your intent are in tune and aligned with each other, you can manifest anything at any point in time. I do not use any planetary bodies to do any rituals. I do not wait for the moon to wax, wane. I do not wait for it to be full. I don't wait for none of that. Do you understand? I do it when I feel it, when my passion is high. That's when I unleash my powers to do my bidding or to bring about the results I desire. Don't wait for things.
Right.
And it's hard because you said it right. You hear that shit in the back of your head because that's what people constantly say. That's what they constantly repeat. This is the problem. The same problem. The problem is, look, I'll give you an example. That's the kind of shit you hear on Facebook or Instagram. The shit you just were saying that, you hear people saying. And they'll have 1,000 memes talking about, oh, the full moon is here. The black moon is here. The da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, right? And I'm like, you niggas are waiting for that day particularly to do a ritual. So from that day to the next time the black moon comes, you're not going to do a certain ritual. So that means you are you're opening yourself up for anything to happen to you from then to then. You understand how stupid that sounds? You should be controlling every aspect of your life, every moment of the day. Why are you waiting for a particular day to do a ritual? Because if you have to wait for 2 weeks from now, how the hell you know what's going to happen that you might not even make it to 2 weeks? You get what I'm saying? But if you start to master your life and be the demon or the god over your life, shit, every day I should be creating a new frequency and vibration for what I want to bring into my life, for what I want results to come into my life. You should not be waiting. That's still like a Jesus mentality, That's still a religious mentality. I'm waiting for something before I do something. You understand? I'm waiting for Jesus to come back before I get my act right. I'm waiting for the full moon before I do this ritual. You understand? The longer you wait, the less likely you are to do that shit anyways when the day comes. Because from here to there, you might be distracted with a bunch of things that day comes, you might not be able to do it. So why can't you do your work every single moment of the day? That's the most important part to working your sorcery. There is no limitation when, where, or how you should do this. People who limit you are ones who are trying to control you, right?
Right.
So always remember that jazz that we hear in the background of what people say you should or should not do when you work in your sorcery or your magic. Don't just erase it or shut it down the minute it comes up, because that's you not allowing yourself to expand, to grow, because I have to wait for this day and that's no, hell no. So do your best when you hear that chatter in your mind to destroy it and realize I must be proactive every day. If you wait for the moon, you're reactive, meaning you're waiting for a certain time to react to it. A true sorcerer is proactive. We're constantly trying to be before cause and effect. We're not in the cause and effect. You understand? We're trying to be before the cause and effect. Because if I do something, a ritual, a certain dark ritual, I'm creating the cause and the effect. Do you not understand? There's a difference between waiting for shit to happen and making shit happen. If I make the shit happen, then I'm creating what the cause and effect is, so I should have greater results. But if I wait for it to happen, then I'm in the cause and the effect, meaning the cause is what it is, and then here's the effect of it. Nah, shit, fuck that. Always be before the cause and effect. That's the secret.
Appreciate that, bro.
All right. Thank you, brother. Goddess Ways, you're next.
I'm just loving this because before I stepped onto this path or realized that this was where I was at, I had gotten away from the tools, and the most powerful result I got was when I just went into that darkness, perceived myself to be that which is everywhere, and was just affecting stuff from that point. And I've been like struggling trying to get myself back onto, you know, the rituals and the tools and the setup, seeing other people do a lot of that. So I felt like I was wondering, like, am I getting away? Like, am I skipping steps by not using the tools as much? So this is like really reconfirming and, you know, just helping turn me back to where I came from, where I was really, what really brought me here, you know? So
right. Let me share this. Right. Let's think about certain movies that we've seen. They always have the group of witches, right? But then the most powerful witch they're usually scared of is the one that lives out in the forest, right? And she's away from everybody. But they always got to go to her, right? For some reason in the movie or show, they always got to go to her. But why are they so scared of her, though? If they're in a coven and they got all this, but they're scared of her. The reason why they're scared of her is because she's primal. She doesn't live by ceremony. She doesn't live by the ceremonial rituals and the coven rituals. She lives by the power of her passion. You understand? And when she unleashes that power of passion, she can either build or destroy it. They're afraid of that kind of power. If that was you before, then that's who you should always be, because that's when your spark began, is usually what is emanating from you. Along the line, we get influenced by this, that, the third, this other person, or we should do it like this. And then when we try it, you're lessening your power and you're becoming less potent in your work. You're becoming more programmed in your work, so to speak. Nah. Be who you were, Goddess Way, since the beginning. Go back to that and be that. Because a female by nature is chaos personified. There is nothing that you should allow a person to put you under a certain restriction, because that's what people have been doing all these years, is putting people under certain restrictions, path, patterns, oh, do this way, that. Unleash it. As a matter of fact, after we get off of here, go outside, look up, and yell. Not where people think you're crazy, though. All right? But just yell enough where you exhale and say, I'm unleashing my true power like the Dark Phoenix. Fuck that shit. I'm not going to be controlled. I'm going to be like the Dark Phoenix, right? The Dark Phoenix was chaos personified, but there was something that, if you watch closely in the Dark Phoenix movie, they were all afraid of her. They were afraid of her because when she really woke up and she saw the programming, she set out to destroy it. You understand? And they knew they couldn't stop her, because when a woman is scorned, yeah, that's an R. Kelly song. But anyways, when a woman is scorned, she is chaos personified. She is rage unleashed. And that's what they're afraid of. So unleash yourself this evening. Go back out there. Look up at the moon. Look in nature in the darkness and let your shit back out. And say, no longer will I let myself be programmed. Say it aloud to yourself and you'll see They can't program you no more. They can't control you because that's what they want. People want to control you.
And I mean, I understand how the tools can help kind of trigger certain things. Because it's like in those areas where I was clear in my intention and my desire and passion was strong, like the results were immediate. And in other areas where I'm kind of like lukewarm about it, you know, that's where I guess I'm still trying to reconcile how to bring it together.
I'm gonna look at you right now and I'm gonna tell you what one of your most powerful tools are. And you notice why you're probably gonna nod your head, smile, or laugh. Your eyes. That's the only power you need right there. Just use it and you can hypnotize, control, or create just through the power of your eyes. Always remember that. That's all you need. All right? You don't need all these tools and all this stuff just by the way you look, the way you smile, the way you walk, talk, dress. You're a chaos sorcerer walking. You understand? All that extra external stuff is getting you away from who you really are. You understand? That power of seduction is naturally yours. That power of darkness is naturally yours because you were birthed, I was birthed, came through a woman, through the darkness. So that's your natural birthright is the darkness. Unleash it. Get back into it. Don't feel like, oh, all these sisters are going to be like, oh, goddess ways, you're so wrong. You have to look, tell them, kiss your left cheek and keep it moving. Because that's not how I'm working this anymore. I got to be who I am. If they don't like it, they was never really with you. You know what I mean?
Love it. Thank you.
You're welcome. But go out there and yell. Just, you know.
I will.
Yeah, let us know how it works. All right. Smooth T. What up, brother?
Yo, what's going on? What's going on?
What's going on, B?
I guess my question would be, well, first of all, I compare this whole topic with freestyling and putting a pen to the pad, because I got a hip hop background myself, and there's definitely some power in just freestyling, just getting it all off top of your head. I guess my question would be, as we know with doing a standard ritual, planning it out and all that good stuff, you're gathering up the energy. What's some methods to also maybe get that same energy doing it the primal way?
All right. Well, first of all, let's go back to the hip hop part. An MC is a sorcerer, whether they realize it or not, is a sorcerer because your words can move the crowd or can make the crowd fall asleep, right? If your flow sucks, you will make the crowd fall asleep, get booed off the stage. It's a wrap, right? One, a sorcerer, as an MC, you move the crowd. That means you are feeding off the energy of the audience. For two, when you are creating your wordplay, you are putting a hypnosis or a hypnotic spell on people, okay? So use that to your advantage. You're poetic. You already have the natural flow of poetry inside of you. Use that in your sorcery, okay? So in other words, I'll give you an example of something you could do. Create your own invocation through your rhyme and put it in a ritual, your ritual, okay? Create your own, let it flow from the dome. Yeah, let it flow from the dome and create your own ritual using your rhymes, meaning your hip hop skills, your MC skills, use it. Now watch what'll happen. What's gonna happen is because you're passionate about being an MC in hip hop, you may get even more profound results because you're being true to yourself and what flows naturally from deep within you, okay? Remember, an MC is also a warrior because the first emphasis of MCing a lot of times was to battle someone else for supremacy, right? So that natural instinct is inside of you so that the battle skills can also be utilized in your ritual. One, when you're trying to destroy shit within yourself. So you could write a rhyme to yourself saying, yo, write it, you know what I'm saying, to yourself about what you need to work on, battling yourself. Then you write a verse back. Trust me, I'm telling you, that shit's gonna work.
That's cold as fuck.
All right?
Like
do that. Watch how it's gonna pop off, how you're gonna go back and forth, and you're gonna start tapping more into your subconscious because you're gonna be speaking to yourself. You're gonna be battling yourself. All right? Try that. And then let me know how it goes, bro. All right?
Okay. Appreciate that.
Yep. Any other questions?
Well, yeah, I mean, just having, having that same energy, getting those same results. I mean, I believe you just told me exactly what I needed to know, but, comparing it to a regular ritual with the energy, having that same energy come forth when you just freestyle, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because, like, for example, let's say there's someone that crossed you the wrong way, right? So write a rhyme just in that individual. When you're done with the rhyme, burn the paper with their name on it and visualize them on fire and watch the results you get. All right? Now, I'm going to just show you the difference between the things we're talking about and what's already written for people to do. All that shit you asked me just came off the dome. As you were asking me, the dome was responding back like I was freestyling back in occult knowledge. You understand?
Right.
It's not something that I planned out, wrote, or it's just shit that when you say it, I see it, and it just clicks. And as I'm seeing it, I'm explaining it back to you. Because I see you rhyming and doing this, so I can see how it would work. You understand? That's primal sorcery at its best.
Exactly. Right. Okay. Appreciate it.
All right, brother. All right, let's go to Aurora 16. Aurora 16. Storm, are you there?
Hi.
Hello.
I don't have any questions right now. I'm just listening. Just wanted to hear everybody else's questions and answers, but I really like the lecture, so thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Duma.
Hey.
What's up, brother?
My question would be about doing like in Primal Sorcery, like doing ancestor work. Like, sometimes we hear about not working with certain ancestors because they might have done not so great things in their lifetime.
Right.
Are there any times that those things could be utilized?
All right. Let me say this. Let's say it was an uncle, let's say, right? And your uncle was a mercenary, or let's say he was a hitman. Okay, I'm just throwing that. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying, let's say he was a hitman, right?
Right.
And he was, contracted to eliminate certain things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could use that, right? Because if you need certain things to be eliminated off your path that are blocking you, you could use that. But now, if let's say your uncle was an addict, let's say a cocaine addict, and then, he killed someone because he was trying to steal cocaine or whatever, that you might not want to work with, because that addiction may still be present in the next life, where they still are seeking a way to get that high. What I mean by that is this: certain ancestors will utilize certain frequencies or people to use them to still feel that high of drugs. You understand what I'm saying? of like cocaine or things like that.
Right.
So it depends. Yes, you can, but you got to really know, is it wise to do it this way if you know about their background? The more you know about their background, you'll know what you can use or if you should use this certain ancestor or not, right? Now, let me just say this in another note. I don't work with my ancestors like that. I work with my ancestors in one way only. Well, two ways. One, to communicate, see how they're doing. And two, for guidance, wisdom. But I do not use them to do any work or anything like that. Okay?
Okay.
It depends. Each person has to find their way. But me personally, I don't do that. I just speak and communicate to my ancestors for guidance and wisdom, occult knowledge, things of that nature. Okay? But to do like my bidding and work for other things, no, I don't do that to them. But hey, anybody, that's your right to do how you want to do it. I just personally don't do that. I'd rather get a complete stranger to do my bidding through necromantic work than utilize my ancestors for that. You see what I mean? So it all depends. But yeah, if you want to, just weigh the parameters, weigh all the things you know about your uncle or aunt or whatever, and see if you should go forth or not. But see, a lot of times your ancestors communicate with you because they're trying to share or teach you something. You understand?
Right.
That's a lot of times what your ancestors are there for. Other so-called entities, that's what you utilize to do external work. You get what I mean? So, any other questions, bro?
That was it, man. I was just wondering with the whole primal sorcery aspect.
All right. True. I feel you. But yeah, that's just my take on that. But you got to discover what works for you through experience. You know what I mean? All right, brother. Appreciate it. Yep. All right, Linar Airy, are you there? Linar, are you there?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. How you doing?
Good. How about you?
Good.
I feel like this lecture was very, very good. What stood out to me the most was when you talked about how there are not too many left-hand path authors and how a lot of the occultists are right-hand occultists. So my question was, how can you spot these type of occultists? Like, for example, I don't know if you heard of her, and I don't know. Every time I try to read her material, something in me is like, no. I don't know if you heard of this woman called Venus Satanis. She is a part of the spiritual Satan group. I wanted to see, like, is she an example of what a right-hand occultist would be?
Okay.
Okay.
Most Satanists would be considered left-hand path only because they're working the adversarial current. But, and this is, I have a lot of friends that are satanic or into the satanic stream. This is no diss to them, but Satanism is usually like entryway to the left-hand path because it's a path of rebellion. A lot of times you're rebelling against the religious philosophy that you were raised under. So people get into that and they get into those things. But when they start saying like theistic Satanists or things like that, then you're back to shifting a little more to the right. And let me explain what I mean by that. The right usually worships and believes in deities to be true. The left, however, utilizes the so-called deities as symbols, energy, and characteristics and attributes that they are going to embody, meaning they're going to wear the deific mask of, let's say, Lucifer. What does Lucifer embody? What does Lucifer represent? I'm not worshiping Lucifer. I'm not groveling or bowing down to Lucifer. I am becoming Lucifer because I'm wearing the deific mask to embody those attributes, characteristics, the powers and ability that are symbolic of Lucifer. I am embodying within myself. I am becoming that within myself. I am not groveling. I'm not worshiping. I'm not considering that this is a real God. Because once you get back to that, then you forego your power and you go back to now worshiping something outside of yourself. So when Satanists say that they're theistic Satanists and they worship Satan, they're nothing more than a reverse of Christianity. Okay? And now you're back to spook worship. You're back to worshiping things outside of yourself. So yeah, you're back to kind of a right-hand path, but you're trying to be left-hand path at the same time.
Okay. Okay, so I understood that. Again, now this makes me want to relook at some material that I have.
Right.
But
Think about this. A lot of the books that people will recommend on YouTube and things like that, for whoever you watch or listen to on YouTube, a lot of those books that are recommended are usually right-hand path occultists. How do you know when it's a left-hand path occultist? I'll give you one simple thing that you could identify with. They'll use words like self-development, self-mastery, self-deification, all about the self. That's what really stands out in their books, that you'll automatically know they're on the left-hand path. Okay?
okay.
That's what the left-hand path is all about. If those books don't specifically go into that and they start telling you that the fairy is such a great person and utilize the fairies in your rituals because the fairies are going to give you money, no. That's right-hand path. Because again, you're using something external to do the work for you. In reality, you could get the money yourself if you just bust through the blockages and obstacles that keep you from receiving that. Okay?
Right. Okay,
Right.
well, thank you again. Great lecture.
All right.
And okay.
Thank you for participating. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. So that's all the questions we have. So again, because my dumb ass forgot to record at the beginning, let me make my last announcements. All right, so this is going to be the last class for October, okay? Like I said, I'm going on vacation for 2 weeks, so I won't be making videos. If you do see videos, it's going to be about my vacation. I'll put them on Instagram, maybe a couple on YouTube. That's about it. I'm going on a long-ass cruise to the Southern Caribbean. All right, and no, I'm going to let Demetrius speak in a second. I'm just doing these announcements real quick. And I got Demetrius primed and ready over there, so I'm just priming him a little longer by making him wait. So yeah. Where was I? Oh yeah, so I'll be gone for 2 weeks. All right. Then when we come back in Miami on the weekend of October 25th, 26th, we're having a left-hand path convention. Okay, where we're going to be doing presentations, group rituals down in Miami. So I'll be down there at the end of the week. If a video does come out, it'll be me and Beniti doing a class together down there, okay, or a presentation together. But I'm doing a presentation down there, and there's about like 12, 13, or 14 other people doing presentations, which is going to be really lit. So hopefully I'll see some of y'all there if you're already planning. If not, maybe the next time. In November, the first week, or the second week of November, we're going to start our 16-week shadow work class. 16 weeks. So if you are planning to sign up, make sure you are able to dedicate 16 weeks and not disappear after 4 weeks and then come back 6 weeks later and say, what did I miss? Not happening. You got to make sure you're dedicated to yourself, because you're doing this work for yourself, not for me. You're doing the work for yourself. So if you can't dedicate 16 weeks to mastering a lot of your BS, to working on a lot of your BS, I don't know what to tell you. Okay? I really don't know what to tell you, but I'm not going to tolerate people disappearing and asking them to come back and what I miss. If you just leave and don't come back, don't consider yourself staying in the class. 16 weeks of hardcore shadow work. So if you're soft and scary, stay on the opposite side, the right-hand path with the Pillsbury Doughboy, and have fun over there, because you're not going to do it over here. All right? Now, so that's going to be, and then ongoing right now is the Sith classes. The Sith classes are challenges to see if you really are ready for the dark side current. It challenges your mind, your body, and your spirit. If you're interested in that, that's ongoing, okay? And that is going to determine that you prove yourself to be worthy to get further knowledge about the dark side of yourself, okay? Then, sometime in the end of January, February, we're going to do the Necromancy classes again and Vampyre class part 2. One or the other will be first, but I know a lot of people have been asking about Necromancy again, but I'm not going to do Necromancy if your ass is still spooky, religious, and on some dumb shit. That's why we're doing the shadow work for 16 weeks, because I'm not going to do the Necromancy and y'all start asking, not you guys on here, but some other people start asking some real dumb questions, and I'm just be like, you didn't take the classes before that? No, sorry, not happening. All right? So keep that in mind. Demetrius, let's let you build to close this off, my brother.
Alrighty. Well, first, because I like to, I want to share a little something here. You had spoke about ceremonial magic kind of versus primal. I wanted to give an example of that. I was part of an order, and one of the brothers in the order, really cool dude, very knowledgeable and all this stuff. He was beefing with another guy in the occult, and he had received an envelope in the mail from this guy that had some powder in it. And he told us about it. He laughed about it. He, ha, ha. And I'm like, my eyebrows went up, and I'm like, okay, I know what that is.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, you need to take that seriously. No, he laughed it off. 2 weeks later, he was going to the doctor to be treated for cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Got his ass blown up. You had mentioned them doing a ritual, us going out into the woods. I'd like to add, do a conjuration or invocation with that ritual out in the woods, just freestyle it, but don't do it in any language that is known. Just drop down into your desire or whatever it is that you're wanting to do, and let whatever language come out of your mouth. Enoch Petrocelli has a book called The Black Witch, which he has a demonic dictionary in. Pretty badass.
Great book.
So, working that. Also, if you do use a circle, which I really don't, use a lot of, but if you do, instead of closing the circle and all that bullshit like they have you do in Wicca and ceremonial magic, collapse that circle down into something. Put it into a stone that you're going to use or carry. If it's something that you're wanting to use yourself, you can collapse it down into some wine and drink that, or collapse that down into something that's breakable and keep doing that over time, building that energy up in it, and then break that motherfucker in a ritual. It's like a nuclear explosion. I had just written some things down that I wanted to talk about. But also, like with the primal current, with the primal sorcery, make sure you aim correctly. Like if you're doing something for abundance, because I've been working on some of that as well, it may not be the fact of you getting money, because you may already have all of the money around you. It just can't get to you because you've got some limitations that's in the way. Clear the limitations out of the way, and you'll see how things roll. But this primal sorcery stuff, it's very elemental. I mean, you'll see glimpses of it in things like Paulo Mayombe, like Obeya and things like that. But you don't really have to go that direction with any of that. You can just go out there, like Ravana said, go out into the woods, channel some current, connect. It could be as simple as just sitting and closing your eyes, because I like doing that. Because when I do that, I see that darkness. I don't see it as darkness behind my eyes. I see that I am surrounded by it and filled by it, and I breathe that in, and connect to that. But that's all I got. This is a good talk. I'm going to repost the link for the folder I had up. It's got Mark Allen Smith's Primal Craft books in there. I mean, Queen of Hell is the first volume, and it's Sex Magic with Hecate right from the gate. So,
Shit.
He didn't give a fuck. He just wrote this shit.
I like it.
It's good stuff, though. I mean, they got a temple out in Spain, up in the mountains, and some weird rock formation. It's crazy.
I love it.
So, but yeah, this is what the true craft is this prime. It's just raw. You know, people just tossing current using it. Because like, if you have a problem, what are you gonna wait till you get home? Like, if you're at work, no, you go to the bathroom and you work it out. They
That's
think
right.
you just in there. They think you in there going to go take a pee. No, you just set somebody's shit up
That's
or
right.
straighten it out, one or the other.
That's right, brother.
That's it. Thank you.
All right, appreciate that. See, that's why I let Demetrius go last, so he could leave y'all with some parting words of wisdom. Get y'all hyped up again. All right, y'all. So, yeah, he put the link in there, which I'm going to go in there again and steal some other shit, because I've been stealing a lot of shit from Demetrius here. But that Black Witch book he recommended, get the damn book.
Because Enoch is awesome, and if you want to talk about a success story using left hand path, that guy's story is hard. He's gone through a lot, and he was brought up in like a severe Christian household, and that affected him. But he used left hand path stuff to heal himself. He's got a few other books out which are good. Somebody was talking about the moon and all that shit. There's a book called The Book of Soul Retrievals. Got a ritual to blast all that. So.
Yeah. I like it. All right, brother. Appreciate that. And I'll be seeing y'all sometime in November. Look on Instagram for some of the travel vids, things like that. Y'all can always send a shout out. All right. Dark blessings. See y'all. Wait a second. Hold on. See y'all on the rebound. All right. Bye-bye.